The next type of inequalities we're going to talk about are called compound inequalities. And this is when two inequalities are conjoined by an and, meaning we need both inequalities to be true. And we can actually write the whole statement as one statement. So for example, if we want to say -6 is less than 2x plus 8 and 2x plus 8 is less than or equal to 10, we can write it as one statement here. -6 is less than 2x plus 8 and is less than or equal to 10. Now, we actually, when it's written in one statement, we're going to have to break that into two statements to solve. So here we're going to say -6 is less than 2x plus 8 and 2x plus 8 is less than or equal to 10. And you're going to solve each of them separately, just like we learned to in the last video. So let's start with this one here. The -6 is less than 2x plus 8. First, we're going to subtract 8 from both sides. So we get -14 is less than 2x, and then I need to divide both sides by 2. So I get -7 is less than x. Okay, now over here, I'm going to solve by subtracting 8 from both sides. So I'll have 2x is less than or equal to 2. Divide both sides by 2. So I get x is less than or equal to 1. So we have x needs to be bigger than 7 and less than or equal to 1. And we can write that in one inequality by going -7 less than x less than or equal to 1. So just make sure that the part that's facing the x is always the same as what you solve for. So graphing our answer, so we'll do -7, -6, 5. Okay, so we want to go between -7 and +1. So -7, it's a less than, so we're just going to use an open dot, and x is less than or equal to 1. So we're going to use a closed dot, and we want everything in between there. Okay, so that's the graph of our solution. Now, to write it in set notation, we're just going to say x such that, and we'll write the statement that we wrote right here. -7 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 1. Now the interval notation, well, for our graph we're starting at -7 with an open dot, so we're going to use parentheses -7, and we're going up to a closed dot at 1, so we'll go up to 1 with a square bracket. Okay, we want to do a very similar thing here on the next one. So we've got 5 is less than or equal to 2x plus 6 is less than 10. So we're going to set up 5 is less than or equal to 2x plus 6, and 2x plus 6 is less than 10. So starting over here, we'll subtract 6 from both sides. So we'll have -1 is less than or equal to 2x. So we'll divide both sides by 2. So we get -1/2 is less than or equal to x. Then on this one, again, we need to subtract 6 from both sides. So we have 2x is less than 4. Divide both sides by 2. So we get x is less than 2. So we see that -1/2 is less than or equal to x, and x is less than 2. So we get x is between -1/2 and 2. So to do our graph, okay, we see the lowest number, -1/2 here, would be here, and we're doing a closed dot, and we're going up to 2, which will be an open dot, and we want everything between there. Okay, so to write this in set notation, we would say x such that -1/2 is less than or equal to x is less than 2. And in interval notation, remember, read it left to right, so we're going to do bracket -1/2 up to 2, parenthesis. Okay, let's do one more here. So we've got -7 is less than or equal to -3 minus 2x is less than or equal to -1. So we need to set up our two equations. -7 is less than or equal to -3 minus 2x, and -3 minus 2x is less than or equal to -1. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to add 3 to both sides here. So I'll get -4 is less than or equal to 2x. Oops, sorry, that should be a -2x. So I'll divide both sides by -2. Now remember, when we divide by -2, our sign is going to flip. So we're going to get 2 is greater than or equal to x. Okay, now we need to solve it over here. So we need to add 3 to both sides. So we're going to get -2x is less than or equal to 2. I need to divide both sides by -2, which flips the sign, so we're going to get x is greater than or equal to -1. Now let's look at what's the lowest here. We've got -1, and we want that to be less than, the less than part, less than or equal to part is pointing toward the -1, so less than or equal to the x. And now x here is the less than or equal to part, so less than or equal to 2. Okay, so we can graph it just like we have on the others. So we're going to go from -1 with a closed dot up to 2 with a closed dot, and everything in between. So our set notation will be x such that x is between -1 and 2. And then our interval notation, we're going between -1 and 2, and we're including both of those, so we'll do bracket -1 up to 2.